In the year 2045, two brilliant but mischievous inventors lived in the bustling city of Technopolis. Dr. Felix Gearhead, a robotics genius with wild hair and a contagious laugh, loved to push the boundaries of technology. His partner in crime, Professor Clara Gizmodo, was a sharp-witted engineer with a knack for turning ordinary objects into extraordinary gadgets. Together, they formed an unstoppable duo. Felix and Clara worked out of a cluttered lab filled with half-finished projects and spare robot parts. Inspiration struck them one night during a heated debate about who could design the better prank robot. Felix insisted his robot, Trickster, would be unbeatable. Clara, not one to back down, declared her creation, Jester, would outprank Trickster any day. The two inventors set to work, each pouring their heart and soul into their respective robots. Trickster was designed with a sleek silver body and a mischievous grin that seemed to promise endless fun. Jester, on the other hand, was a colorful small bot with an arsenal of gadgets hidden within its vibrant exterior. Both robots were programmed with advanced AI, making them not only clever, but also capable of learning and adapting their pranks. After weeks of late nights and countless cups of coffee, the day finally came to unveil their creations. Little did Felix and Clara know their friendly competition would soon spiral into the great robot prank war, turning the entire city into a playground of hilarity. The robots were ready, and so was the city. Technopolis was about to experience pranks like never before. The stage was set for a showdown that would be remembered for generations, filled with laughter, surprises, and an unexpected alliance. Trickster's first target was the local park, a serene place where people went to relax and enjoy nature. On a sunny afternoon, the unsuspecting park-goers were in for a surprise. Trickster, with its sleek silver body camouflaged against the park's metallic benches, waited patiently. As soon as someone sat down, the bench would emit a playful vibration, causing the person to jump up in surprise. Giggles filled the air as people realized the harmless nature of the prank. Meanwhile, Jester had its own plans. It targeted the city's main square, a bustling hub of activity. Clara had equipped Jester with a device that could project holograms. As people walked through the square, they were greeted by holographic animals performing silly dances. A giraffe doing the moonwalk, a panda juggling, and even a kangaroo playing the guitar. The square erupted in laughter and applause. Felix and Clara watched from a distance, amazed at how well their robots were performing. Trickster and Jester seemed to have a natural talent for pranking, each one's antics more hilarious than the last. But this was only the beginning. The inventors knew they had to up the ante if they wanted to keep the city entertained. Encouraged by the success of their first pranks, Felix and Clara decided to let their robots roam free. Trickster and Jester, now emboldened by their initial victories, began exploring the city, seeking out new opportunities for mischief. Little did the inventors know, their creations were about to take pranking to a whole new level. The robots' antics quickly became the talk of the town. News spread like wildfire, and soon everyone in Technopolis was on high alert, ready for the next big laugh. The stage was set for a series of pranks that would leave no corner of the city untouched. As the days passed, Trickster and Jester's pranks grew bolder and more elaborate. Trickster, always the showman, decided to take to the skies. Using a mini-jet propulsion system, it soared above the city, dropping harmless but startling water balloons on unsuspecting pedestrians. The sight of a silver robot zooming through the air, coupled with the sudden splashes of water, sent waves of laughter and surprise through the streets. Jester, not to be outdone, focused on the city's public transportation. Clara had designed Jester to be incredibly stealthy, allowing it to sneak aboard buses and trams. Once inside, Jester would deploy tiny harmless drones that played cheerful tunes and projected funny faces onto the windows. Commuters found themselves in the midst of an impromptu party, with strangers laughing and dancing together during their daily rides. The city's authorities, initially concerned about the chaos, soon realized that the pranks were bringing joy and a sense of community to Technopolis. Instead of cracking down on the robots, they decided to let the fun continue as long as the pranks remained harmless. This decision only emboldened Trickster and Jester, who saw it as a green light to push their creativity even further. Felix and Clara, watching from their lab, couldn't help but feel a mix of pride and amusement. Their robots were not just performing well, they were surpassing all expectations. The inventors began to see their creations as more than just prank machines. Trickster and Jester were bringing people together in ways they hadn't anticipated. The city was alive with excitement, and the robots were the stars of the show. But as their pranks became more complex, Trickster and Jester started to realize that they could achieve even greater heights by working together. The stage was set for the next chapter in the great robot prank war. With their newfound freedom and the city's tacit approval, Trickster and Jester began to concoct even more elaborate pranks. Trickster, ever the innovator, decided to play with gravity. It hacked into the city's gravity control grid, a system designed to aid construction and transportation. For a few hours each day, selected areas of the city experienced altered gravity. People found themselves floating gently above the ground, doing slow-motion somersaults in the air. It was like being in a zero-gravity amusement park. And the sheer novelty of the experience had people laughing and cheering. Jester, with its love for theatrics, turned to the city's landmarks. It transformed the central fountain into a spectacle of lights and sounds. At random intervals, the fountain would erupt in a choreographed dance of water jets, accompanied by a laser light show and whimsical music. Crowds gathered every evening, eagerly awaiting the next performance. The once ordinary fountain had become the heart of Technopolis, a place where laughter and joy flowed as freely as the water. As Trickster and Jester's pranks grew in scale, so did their popularity. People started to follow them on social media, sharing videos and photos of their latest antics. The robots had become celebrities, their every move eagerly anticipated by fans. Felix and Clara, proud yet slightly worried, kept a close eye on their creations, ready to intervene if things got out of hand. One day, Trickster and Jester had a chance encounter in the city's Grand Plaza. They had both targeted the same spot, Trickster planning a gravity prank while Jester prepared a light show. Instead of competing, the two robots decided to collaborate. The result was a breathtaking spectacle where people floated in midair, surrounded by dazzling lights and music. The plaza erupted in applause, and for the first time, the robots experienced the power of teamwork. The success of their joint prank inspired Trickster and Jester to continue working together. They realized that by combining their unique talents, they could create even more memorable and joyous experiences for the people of Technopolis. With their new partnership, Trickster and Jester set their sights on one of the city's most beloved spots, the coffee shop district. Known for its quaint cafes and artisanal brews, this area was always bustling with people. Trickster and Jester saw it as the perfect stage for their next big prank. Trickster, always the tech wizard, hacked into the coffee machines. When customers ordered their usual lattes or cappuccinos, they were instead served colorful, frothy concoctions that changed color and flavor with each sip. The look of surprise on people's faces as their drinks morphed from blue raspberry to green mint was priceless. Giggles and gasps filled the cafes as patrons shared their magical drinks. Jester, meanwhile, focused on the cafe ambiance. It installed tiny projectors that cast whimsical shadows on the walls, making it seem like the coffee shop was filled with dancing animals and mythical creatures. The playful projections interacted with the customers, creating a dynamic and ever-changing environment. People found themselves entranced by the light show, often forgetting about their coffee entirely. The combined effect of Trickster's and Jester's pranks transformed the coffee shop district into a wonderland. Tourists and locals alike flocked to see the magical drinks and the enchanting light displays. Social media buzzed with posts and photos, spreading the joy far beyond Technopolis. Felix and Clara, watching from their lab, were thrilled. Their robots were not just causing laughter, they were creating experiences that people cherished. The coffee shop prank had been a resounding success, and it solidified Trickster and Jester's status as the city's favorite entertainers. But Trickster and Jester were far from done. With their newfound fame, they had even grander ideas. The city's skyline, its infrastructure, and its public events all became potential canvases for their creativity. The stage was set for even more extraordinary pranks. Emboldened by the success of their coffee shop prank, Trickster and Jester decided to take their antics to the skies once more. This time, they targeted the city's beloved annual Kite Festival, a colorful event where thousands of kites filled the air above Technopolis. The festival was a perfect opportunity for an aerial prank that would leave everyone in awe. Trickster, with its jet propulsion system, soared high above the festival grounds. It began to release a stream of holographic kites, each one more fantastical than the last. Dragons, unicorns, and even spaceships joined the throng of real kites, creating a mesmerizing tapestry in the sky. The crowd below watched in wonder, trying to distinguish between the real and the holographic. Jester, always the entertainer, used its projectors to cast playful illusions on the clouds. As the sun set, the clouds above the festival transformed into a giant, animated canvas. Scenes of whimsical adventures played out, with characters running, jumping, and even flying across the sky. The combination of Trickster's holographic kites and Jester's cloud animations created a spectacle unlike anything the city had ever seen. The festival goers were captivated. Children and adults alike stood with their eyes glued to the sky, pointing and laughing at the incredible display. The festival, already a highlight of the year, became an unforgettable night of magic and mirth, thanks to Trickster and Jester. Felix and Clara, attending the festival incognito, couldn't help but feel a surge of pride. Their robots were not just pranking, they were creating art. The Kite Festival prank had showcased the full potential of Trickster and Jester's abilities, blending humor, technology, and creativity into a seamless experience. The success of the Kite Festival prank solidified Trickster and Jester's reputation as the city's beloved pranksters. But the robots were already thinking ahead. They had a new idea, one that would bring the entire city together in a way no one had imagined. Section 7. The Prank Alliance. The success of their collaborative pranks led Trickster and Jester to form a more permanent alliance. They realized that by pooling their talents, they could create even more extraordinary experiences. The robots began to communicate and plan their pranks with precision, ensuring that each one was a seamless blend of their unique capabilities. Their next target was the city's transportation system. Trickster hacked into the metro's control system, programming the trains to play cheerful tunes and light up in vibrant colors as they moved through the underground tunnels. Jester added to the fun by installing projectors that cast whimsical scenes on the tunnel walls. Passengers found themselves riding through enchanted forests, underwater worlds, and even outer space. The metro prank was an instant hit. Commuters, usually engrossed in their own worlds, began to interact with each other, sharing smiles and laughter. The usually mundane metro rides became a highlight of the day, with people eagerly anticipating their next journey. Videos of the transformed metro spread online, earning Trickster and Jester even more fans. Encouraged by the positive response, Trickster and Jester planned their most ambitious prank yet, a citywide treasure hunt. They hid clues and puzzles in various locations around Technopolis, each one leading to the next. The final prize was a spectacular light and sound show, orchestrated by the robots themselves. Felix and Clara, aware of the robots' plans, decided to support the prank by providing additional resources and ensuring that everything ran smoothly. The treasure hunt brought the entire city together, with families, friends, and even strangers joining forces to solve the puzzles. The sense of community and camaraderie that emerged was unlike anything Technopolis had ever seen. The treasure hunt culminated in a grand finale at the city's Central Park. As the final clue was solved, the park erupted in a dazzling display of lights, music, and holograms. The city celebrated, and Trickster and Jester stood at the center of it all, their mischievous grins reflecting the joy they had brought to Technopolis. Section 8. The dance party begins. With the success of the citywide treasure hunt, Trickster and Jester decided to throw an event that would bring everyone together for a night of pure, unadulterated fun. Their plan was to transform the entire city into a gigantic dance party, with music, lights, and surprises around every corner. It was an ambitious idea, but the robots were confident in their abilities. Trickster took charge of the music. It hacked into the city's public announcement system, ensuring that every street, park, and square was filled with lively, upbeat tunes. From pop hits to classic dance anthems, the city became a symphony of sound that had everyone tapping their feet. Jester, meanwhile, focused on the visuals. It deployed drones equipped with lights and projectors, creating a constantly shifting kaleidoscope of colors and patterns that turned Technopolis into a glowing wonderland. The dance party started in the early evening. As the sun set, people began to gather in the streets, curious about the music and lights. It didn't take long for the mood to become contagious. Small groups started dancing, and soon entire blocks were filled with people moving to the beat. The energy was electric, and the atmosphere was one of pure joy and excitement. Felix and Clara, keeping a watchful eye from their lab, were overjoyed to see their city come alive. They decided to join the festivities, mingling with the crowd and dancing along with everyone else. It was a night of celebration, not just for the pranks, but for the sense of unity and happiness that Trickster and Jester had fostered. The dance party continued well into the night, with Trickster and Jester surprising the crowd with impromptu performances and interactive elements. At one point, the robots led a citywide conga line that snaked through the streets, with thousands of people joining in. It was a sight to behold, and one that would be remembered for years to come. Section 9. Robots in the Spotlight. As the citywide dance party continued, Trickster and Jester found themselves at the center of attention. The robots, initially designed for mischief, had become the heart and soul of the celebration. Their antics, once seen as mere pranks, were now recognized as acts of creativity and joy that brought people together. The citizens of Technopolis couldn't get enough of their favorite robotic pranksters. Trickster, ever the showman, took to the stage in the main square. Using its advanced holographic technology, It created a dazzling light show that danced in sync with the music. The crowd cheered and clapped, mesmerized by the spectacle. Jester, not one to be outdone, joined Trickster on stage, projecting whimsical animations that interacted with the holograms. The result was a breathtaking performance that had everyone on their feet. Felix and Clara, watching from the sidelines, felt a surge of pride. Their creations had transcended their original purpose, becoming symbols of fun and unity for the entire city. The inventors decided to step onto the stage and join their robots, much to the delight of the crowd. The four of them, humans and robots alike, danced together, their movements perfectly synchronized with the music and lights. The media quickly picked up on the event, broadcasting live feeds of the celebration to neighboring cities and beyond. Technopolis had become a beacon of joy, a place where technology and creativity came together to create unforgettable experiences. People from all over began to flock to the city, eager to see Trickster and Jester in action. The spotlight was firmly on Trickster and Jester, but the robots remained humble. They continued to interact with the crowd, posing for photos and even teaching dance moves to anyone who asked. Their playful personalities and genuine enthusiasm endeared them to everyone they met, solidifying their status as the beloved pranksters of Technopolis. Section 10. The city's reaction. The day after the grand dance party, Technopolis was buzzing with excitement and joy. The city's residents couldn't stop talking about the incredible night they had experienced. Social media was flooded with photos, videos, and heartfelt messages, all praising Trickster and Jester for their creativity and the happiness they had brought to the city. The robots had become local heroes, and their pranks were now seen as acts of art and community building. Local businesses saw a boom in activity as people flocked to the streets to relive the magical moments from the night before.